All right, folks, welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I'm joined again with Bo Pony. Bo, how do I introduce you? As a prophetic, as a what is this? Like you predict psychic? What are you? What do I predict?
Okay,
What
well,
do I introduce you as?
Nino, thank you for having me back. I am not a psychic because that is not biblical.
You do
So
everything
let's talk
through a
about,
timeline, correct? You
uh, yes, yeah. And so specifically, it's just I analyze God's timeline. So the analyst of time, I analyze time. The simplest analogy is that you look in biblical times, you look in historic time, the time of Moses, the Exodus. You look at those time windows, and then so we are a brother-sister relationship. So we are the sister to Israel. So brother,
all right?
sister. And so
Hold
things
on.
that happen in Israel are going to happen here in the United States on a similar
All
time
right,
window.
hold
So
that thought. Let me just knock this
there
out
you
real
go.
quick. Hold that thought. Noble
Yep.
Gold, folks. Noble Gold. Um, Did you know Bank of America is saying gold will go to 2,200 this year, an all-time high? Invest in a gold IRA with Noble Gold Investments today and take advantage of this rare opportunity to secure your retirement savings. With the experts at Noble Gold Investments, you can ride the wave of gold's historic rise to financial security. And this month, they're offering a solid silver 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin with every qualifying precious metals IRA or 401k rollover. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold Investments. Hurry up to go to noblegoldinvestments.com to secure your wealth. Bag a free 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin if you qualify. Noblegoldinvestments.com. Hit the link down below, folks, and let's get started. And I know you do the same thing with gold as well, Bo Pony. I'll leave it up to the audience of what they want to do. Bo, all right, I got to kind of play devil's advocate here. Listen, I want to believe you. I want to believe everything you're saying because this just sounds so fantastical. Um, I want to believe all my guests, but I have to kind of be devil's advocate. I can't, I gotta somehow have one foot in, one foot out as a proper host.
Let me ask you a question, Clint. Let me a quick question for you, David. You talk about gold. Do you have precious metals, silver or gold? Do you have some? Okay, so
Yes,
you're
sir.
not sitting on the fence.
Oh, with
See,
that,
that's
no,
the point.
no, no,
See, you're
no, no,
not
no. I
sitting
know
on the
what's
fence.
coming.
So therefore,
I know
so
what's
my
coming.
point is, something's coming down the pipe.
100%.
That's
But
the
I'm just
point.
not. I don't know about putting dates on them. But
No,
you're
no, no.
better than that than I am. I'm not claiming I know anything. So
Yeah.
you are going to state your case here.
I know very little. All of us know. All I know is every day I learn more, right? Every day we all learn more, right? So there's always more to learn. But what I do know for a fact is that, God is in complete control of all of what's going on in our world right now, and like you said, you talk about precious metals. Where does it say that in the Bible, right? Haggai 2, verse 8, the silver and the gold are mine, saith the Lord. And so if you know in your heart that deep down, David, something's messed up in this world and something's really wrong. Okay. And the bottom line is, if something's really wrong, ultimately, at some point, at the end of of the rope, that's where you see a miracle happen. Okay. And so, what we're going to talk about today is a miracle. And what is a miracle? It's something that's impossible, it's an impossibility. And the point I'm trying to make on that, think about this, right? When Israel was at the Red Sea, David, they were dead, finished, and if there was no intervention, God would, I mean, if God did not intervene, there today would be no Israel.
I'm a living miracle. I believe in miracles. I almost lost my life twice. I should have died. There's no joke
Yes.
about that. That's dead serious. And my life is completely turned around since I've been sober. So I'm a walking miracle, folks. So I believe in miracles, and I'll attest to that. So, Bo,
And so let me give you another miracle. Jesus Christ, he was on the cross dead, dead. You don't think that the world, those that love Jesus, they all fled. They were freaked out. Jesus is dead. He's on the cross. Okay. Look what happened to you as well. Look what happened. I've listened to some of your stories. It's horrific what they did to you. You told me when I recently saw you, like it's horrific what they did to you. No different. This is what evil. And then 3 days later, a miracle happened when Jesus Christ rose from the dead. A miracle happened to you, David. What? Because you came to find Jesus, because you realized that you're not supposed to be here right now. But
bonus
instead,
time.
God had a bigger plan for you, David. You see, God has plans for all of us, and he had plans for you, and thus you're doing what you're doing today. And you haven't even truly seen, your real calling yet. There's even bigger things coming your way. You just don't know yet. There's bigger things coming our way. We don't even know the magnitude of what God's about to do. But what we're about to witness is one of the greatest move of God's spirits ever in the history of the world. And so these people who run the world, they are demon possessed. You want to use the word psychopaths, whatever, they're demon possessed. These people work for a fallen foe, a fallen angel. They work for, in heaven, his name is Lucifer. He's thrown out of heaven to earth. His name is now Satan, right? And he doesn't die. He's been here, and they occupy people. And these look the Nephilim spirits. You've had people on your show talking about this stuff, right? And the bottom line is, it's just an evil regime. And you had John F. Kennedy call them out. What did he say? This secret society. You had Jesus Christ, and in the Revelation 2, verse 9, it talks about, these people, I know your foe. They are not Jews, but they say they are. They're from the synagogue of Satan.
Mm.
So that's what's going on. So no, I listen to your podcast. You're fun as heck to listen to. Why? Because you bring a massive dynamic to all of this, and you capture people that normally wouldn't want to listen to some pastor or something like that, right? But then you also bring people on your show that want to hear hear truths, and when you have me on your show, and my point is, everything that I'm pointing out to you is scriptural. I like to listen to some key prophets, so I overlay the prophetic word. They're not my prophetic word. They're some of the key prophets that I listen to. I know are of God. Okay. I'm really good at taking biblical scriptures and then overlaying those biblical scriptures on present day. So we're going to talk about some critical math calculations that you can use that are in the Bible that relate to present day. And we're so close to some of these things popping off and manifesting.
I got to say, folks, I also got to say I met Bo at the Reawaken tour. That was pretty cool. Got to meet you in person, and you're a lot taller than I thought you'd be. How tall are you, man? You about 6'1"?
Yeah.
6'1". Yeah. I was
I might have lost a half an inch. I don't know.
No, you're pretty tall, man. I was kind of surprised. I mean, I thought honestly you'd be about. I thought in my mind you're like 5'8".
Okay.
I see you. I was like, what? He's tall.
Yeah. So are you? You're like 6'4" or something, aren't you? 6'5"?
Yeah, well, bro, it does sound 6'5", 6'4.5". Yeah.
And
a little over 6'4".
You got the width.
Yeah, I know.
I might have you got it.
All right, let's get down to this. So sudden worldwide deaths, but first let's do a recap on what's happening and add that up with your timeline.
Right. So per our last show, what we talked about specifically was some really critical time windows that are coming up here, specifically into the end of May. So everything we know is and will change soon. And so we're at a moment in time that we talked about as well. And basically the essence is when this event goes down, no one knows. We don't know the day God is going to do this because it's a secret. Just like if God spoke to Moses and told Moses the Red Sea is going to part and everybody knew, Pharaoh would not have gone in. Get it? Pharaoh would not have gone into the Red Sea. It's so important to understand that fact. So those who want this presentation, all you need to do is you can click on this. You can just like a QR code. You can scan this QR code and like you would at a restaurant, and you'll be able to get what we're talking about here. But basically, we're going to talk about the signs of the times, basically where we are in biblical prophecy. Okay, Matthew actually states, we are to discern the times, of which we live. So we're going to talk about that and what's coming up. Now, important what's coming up is what's called the summer solstice, which is the longest day of the year.
June 21st, correct?
Yeah, June 21st. And on that day, Trump is going to be 77 years old in 7 days. So what you're going to find throughout this presentation is just one coincidence after a coincidence after a coincidence. But when you find that there are no coincidences, because when God designed everything, they're by design. And so by design, everything's happening on specific numbers and time points because God designed it all. It's not a coincidence. It's by design. And so we're seeing all these incredible things.
God is a mathematician.
Yes, absolutely. He's a mathematician. You know, his word is mathematics, right? The first thing was the word. What is the word? It's a wave. What are waves? You know, it's math, right? So the whole world is math. It's spoken words, but it's all mathematical perfection. That's the key. It's all mathematical perfection. So when God uses words in the Bible, like he uses the words they, them, and their, right? So these are the things that are coming upon other people, you know, the people that are not of God, that don't
So
want to
that's what they
listen.
use for they and them, or when how they describe demons, correct?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Because these people are, many are demon possessed. Many don't want to be in the world. You know, we're to be in the world, not of the world, right? So many of these people want to be of the world. They love the world, and so when they read Revelation, it says they, them, their. So that's all for them. So the horrible things that are described in Revelation, that's not for my children who are called by my name. Get it? You see,
Mm.
so you know, you read Revelation, you go, oh my gosh, that's scary.
Golly, that's so significant for today as well. I can't say it on
Yes,
YouTube, but I'm sure every one of my audience is thinking, makes sense for today. You know, it makes a lot of
absolutely.
sense of what's going on today with the whole, well, I won't go into it, but because I don't want to have to edit that out, but I think people know what I'm laying down right now. But go ahead, Bo. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you know, and what we're seeing is this evil empire that's been running on the world for thousands of years from the day of creation. Okay, so God, this is the point people need to understand. God created everything. You read Genesis, right? And the last thing He created was man. And then when He created man, you know, it was very good. Everything was good, but man was very good. But the point being was, man then names everything. Everything on this earth was made for man. And then what happened? Okay, it's a very simple story. Adam and Eve let Satan on the earth. Okay, the fallen one. They let him on, and then what did he do? He stole our inheritance.
I thought he
So
was
what did
already
he?
here.
No, he was led on the earth by Adam and Eve, and they bit the apple. No, they bit the fruit.
So he
They
wasn't
bit the
hanging out here
fruit and
before
let.
that.
No, he was not on the earth until they let him on with the incident
So
of the
how
fruit.
was he
When
there then if he wasn't on the earth?
he was in the earth, not on the earth. Get
Not
it?
the
He
same
was
thing.
he was thrown out of heaven, but he was not allowed on earth. He was in the earth, inside the earth.
So how was he there by the tree?
I don't
All
know.
right.
Again, all these are little details I don't know, but
Okay.
I do know that when you read Genesis and you find that basically it was, you know, Eve bit the apple, she was deceived, right? And then
All right.
Adam bit it. And next thing you know, and you know, but before all that, God walked on earth with Adam. He was he was friends with Adam. They hung out. They walked on earth together. They were. That's what God. That's why God created man, because He wanted companionship. He made man out of love. So after the incident with the fruit, God could not be around Adam anymore because now there's sin, and God cannot be around sin. So Jesus Christ had to come on the scene. He was a second Adam. He took away the sins of the world, and now through Christ we can stand by God again, stand with God again,
Okay.
because Christ took away the sin. So that's in essence, like a long-term version of what happened, why Christ needed to come to earth.
Mm. Okay.
So so because evil's on the earth, you know, we've heard the stories. You know, I've talked to him on many podcasts, you know, with you about the story of, you know, of the prophecy of Daniel, which describes all the kingdoms that have existed, right? So every part of this prophecy has existed so far: Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome, papacy, every part of it. What we haven't seen is this last part,
The
Daniel
stone.
2. Verse 34. And this is critical. Okay. It's like, you know, mathematics, also precision use of words. While you were watching. Okay. So, David, we get to see this event happen. A stone carved out by no human hand, meaning God does this. God is going to get the glory, no man. That's why evil's been around for so long. Every facet of life, right? You know for a fact, we've talked again about this, and you're in agreement that everything's captured. You know, you use those words, everything's captured, right? They use the
Everything.
money and they've captured everything. They basically work in the shadows, right? So before it was Babylon as more of a statue, right? And now that we're, you know, later on, it now 2,000 years forward, it's turned into what's called Mystery Babylon, because why? They're the puppet masters, right? They work in the shadows. and they pull the strings of world leaders. What have they done? They've captured the church, the family, the education system, government, entertainment, media. They've captured everything. Okay. And how do they do it with the money? Okay. It's always been about the money. They use the money to enslave humanity, and they have endless amounts of it. They basically, JFK, JFK even said, he goes, they have unlimited amounts of money to spend to hide themselves, so they can continue working in the shadows. And so this is what it is. This is we're stepping into a point in time where this is crazy. Okay, we're stepping into a point in time, David. This is 2,500 years ago. This prophecy stands the test of time. Every part of it has happened except for this last part. Okay, every part, and we get to watch the fall of Mystery Babylon,
the fall of the cabal.
The fall of the cabal, their end, not the end. Okay, this is not the end, it's their end.
Okay.
So this is going to be, like I talked before, the best year we've ever seen, the best of times we've
the
ever
best
seen.
Year is this year?
Yes, it starts this year. It starts this.
Are you sure about that?
August. Yeah, I'm going to show you the time was on how I calculate this. Okay, and then but also in the worst of times, because those that went against God, this is going to be their worst next 3.5 years, starting this year, that they've ever imagined. It's going to be so horrific.
See, this is why I like to have you on. You bring my hopes up. So, but there's going to be some bad things that happen before all of this happens, correct? Like as we go.
Yeah. We're gonna, yes, and then we're gonna get them about a few seconds, just to get a couple of fun math calculations. So the Queen dies on September 19th of 2020.
Day after my birthday. Isn't that crazy?
Really? Yeah. And then so 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days, the king's coronation, so I'm just showing, how, all the evil can be found in the details. Get it? So I'm just trying to show you the world's. So all of this stuff is real. It's real, and it is real. So the fall of Babylon. So this picture right here, this fall of Babylon statue right here, Daniel 2 verse 34, is equivalent. So the Bible has scriptures and they're describing the same event. So the same event described another way can be described in it's in Revelation 13 called the mortal wound. So the mortal wound is about to happen to the beast, to this evil system. Okay, the mortal wounds means that these people, and suddenly. That's why Jesus, suddenly.
And where does this line up? Or what part of the calendar is this? You're saying soon?
Oh yeah. So again, I'm saying soon. I'm going to give you an end point. The end point will be the end of June. I don't know the day God will strike because it's
hold on, Bo. You're saying by the end of June we're going to see a massive die-off or sudden worldwide deaths?
Yes.
Come on, that's a pretty bold prediction there, buddy.
This is the point. Okay, this is the point I want to make about this. I know that sounds crazy, but this is not my prophetic word. So it was Julie Green.
That's how you're interpreting it.
No. Kent Christmas, Julie Green, Hank Kunneman, Diana Larkin, 3 prophets of very, very well-respected prophets. Every one of them have stated the angel of death is on the earth right now. The angel of death is the angel that visited Pharaoh, killed his firstborn and all of Egypt's firstborn, including the animals. That angel is on the earth right now, waiting for God to give instruction on when to strike. Now, what the angel of death, and I believe it's Abaddon, the angel of death, when he strikes, is he's going to take away because what he did to Pharaoh, he took away Pharaoh's most prized possession, his firstborn, and all of Egypt's most prized possession, their firstborn. And it was the 9 plagues was basically beating Pharaoh up, but it still wasn't enough. Pharaoh did not release Israel until he took away Pharaoh's most prized possession, his firstborn. And that was a sudden death, and it was precision strikes across all of Egypt while he passed over Israel. Okay, we're about to see the strike of the angel of death. I don't know the day it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen because this is a secret. But
you have a window. You have a window.
Yes, I have a window.
It's going to be June.
Into the end of June. From today.
Right, if this doesn't happen, what are you going to do?
All I know is, we're just going to have to see how this plays out. We'll have to see how it plays out. I don't know, because I know that when you read Galatians, God will not be mocked. For what a man soweth, thus shall he reap. These people came in early, and God is not going to let them do what they're doing. And I've shown you in our prior podcast, this is not evil's appointment.
Right. Okay.
Okay. And the system that they're trying to bring on is not the appointed time. It's not now. It's not 2023. Okay.
It's gonna happen though, right?
It's coming. Yeah.
Okay,
So
but
we
hold on. So that's why I've always been told, and that's funny you say that because I've always been told we're kind of just all of this effort right now by Trump and everyone. What we're doing really essentially is holding them off. Does that make sense?
Yes and no. Yes, we're holding them off, but more importantly, actually, it's a reason. It's within timing. It's a reason why God did all this.
To
Okay, so I'm
expose
going to show.
them and for us to pick a proper lane.
Well, exactly. Well, yes, because if this didn't happen, think of this right. If this didn't happen, we would not have seen the plans that were going down in Nazi Germany at the time. You see what
100%.
I'm
You're
saying?
right. You're
Like we
right.
wouldn't have seen it. Like now we see it, right?
Yes.
What the agenda is. So it's like God wanted to show you, hey, do you like it? You like it? Right? On the other end, there's a second part of the equation, right? God
Makes
did it
sense.
because as much as like, Yuval Harari, Klaus Schwab, these people are psychopaths, these people, they work for Satan. God, they're still God's creation, right? He loves the person that, the humanity. He hates the sin. So he hates that they accepted evil into their hearts, right? So he said, "My children, turn from your wicked way, O wayward sheep." These are wayward sheep, turn from your wicked ways. And so he gave them 3.5 years to turn from their wicked ways. And we've seen a few people turn, on media. So we've seen a
So
few
we're
people
coming up
turn.
on 3.5 years.
Oh, you nailed it. Okay, so let's talk. Let's
Wow.
talk. That was, yeah, you brought that one right. And okay. So here we go. Okay. So this is it. So now let's talk scriptures because it's important to analyze scripture. What does Daniel 12 verse 7 say? You see, this is my most recent revelation. God actually tells us how long they got. He says right here, God says, it will be. It will be for a time, times, and a half a time. So a time is a year, 360 days. Times is 2 years. And a half a time is a half a year. 3.5 years. David,
So
guess
for
when
a
Corona?
okay.
Guess when that stuff came on the scene, right? When the first, okay, it was the first confirmed case. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so there it is. January 12th, 2020. 1,260 days takes you to the end of June, June 25. So there is your evil window right there. So starts here, January 12th, 1,260 days, June 25
Wow.
is end of evil.
221st or 25.
25. Now we're
Okay.
going to talk about this because there's a couple, we don't know the exact day, but I'm going to explain this to you. Now it's interesting as well too. This is a calculation from a long time ago, but this is, so Trump gets elected, 1,260 days go by. So again, you got 1,260 days right here go by to the precise day oil goes to zero or negative $38 a barrel on April 20th, 2020. You run 888 days to the exact day you get to September 25, a new beginning, a birth. Basically, not so much birth, it's conception. So this is right here. So birth pains. You read Matthew 24. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen. But the end is still to come. These are the beginnings of birth pains.
Okay.
So when Babylon falls, David, when Babylon falls, one falls, another is what? Born.
Created, yeah.
Okay, so another's created. So beginning on September 25, which we say right here, okay, because this is Rosh Hashanah. This just happens to be September 25 is Rosh Hashanah. This is a pagan New Year is January 1. God's New Year is is Rosh Hashanah. The last Rosh Hashanah was September 25. Okay, so September 25, childbirth is what, David? 9 months.
Right.
9 months takes you to June 25. So we're going to calculate. So if we calculate birth, because Matthew 24 says birth pains, it says that we should see a new era birthed on or about June 25. We run this calculation of Daniel.
This June's going to be an epic time.
Yes, absolutely. And here's the thing about childbirth, right? So about childbirth, so with children, you could have a child born on the day. So the doctor will give you a delivery date. That doesn't mean that that's going to be the day the child's born. So this could happen a week early. It could happen a week later. See,
and or about a
that's
week, given in a week's time,
right.
2 weeks time.
So
Let's
that's
say.
why I'm saying that's why I'm saying the end of June. Okay. And also, interestingly enough, 3 days, 4 days before June 25 is June 21, the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, the day of most light. What does light do to darkness? It exposes the deals done in the dark, right? So most amount of light means least amount of darkness, right? Right. And so what does light do? It exposes the truth, right?
So when
What
you
does
say,
light?
but hold on, when you say massive die-offs, okay,
Yeah.
sudden worldwide deaths, what
Yes.
are you really saying here? Because that's a big statement to make.
All we
What are
can
we gonna? Who are we gonna see die? There's gonna be people this, and we can't say that.
no,
Or
has
is it gonna
nothing to
be?
do with that.
What does it have to do with?
It has everything because all we can do is look back in history. Okay. So when the angel of death showed up to Pharaoh, he passed over Goshen. What that means, passing over Goshen means Israel was in Goshen. Okay. He did so Israel were God's children. The angel of death did not touch any of God's children. He went after the evil one's firstborn. So the mass die-offs would be a sudden event that cannot be explained, but it will have nothing to do with what you talked about earlier. It had everything to do with the evil ones and their evil agenda.
So it's
So
gonna be the
God,
evil people that.
oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah,
You know, that
oh
makes
yeah.
me think of the King Charles video with that druid that ran across the door. It looked like a Grim Reaper. I don't know if you saw that. I was like, well, that was kind of creepy. That was really eerily to watch. I was like, I wonder what that means. It has to mean something, but it looked like death across, death at the door is the way I explain it. But it was a druid. It looked like a Grim Reaper, and it walked across the door like fast. It went right across the doorway. I don't know. I just go to my mind goes to that.
Yeah, I did see that as well too. So what does it mean? I don't know. I have no idea, but I do know that when I calculate the time windows, what we're seeing is some pretty incredible stuff here because 2020 being the start, 3.5 years takes us to the end of June. And then there's a prophetic word by Kim Clement. Okay. What did Kim Clement say? He says summer will be the mediator between spring and fall so that the fall can do its work in America. So summer starts. So I'm just showing you how
This adds
this is
up to a lot of what
biblical.
I've been hearing.
Yeah, so these we live in biblical times. So God gave evil 3.5 years. Why? To turn from their wicked ways and to have us, the people, see what evil's agenda is so we can wake up. So no, I'm awake, but you are, but to wake other people up. And then when all the truths come, it's called the Great Awakening, right? So what's about to happen is what they're pushing for, the Great Reset. They think they're about to get it. See, this is how this is going to play out, in my opinion, right? And now I'm looking at historic events, right? So you got Jesus Christ on the earth, right? And think about this. God had it all laid out. And what God's ultimate goal was, and Jesus agreed to this, right? To die on the cross. Jesus agreed to die on the cross. And incredibly, the evil ones are so stupid that they actually fell for it and they crucified Jesus and they hung him on the cross at the worst day in possible history on Passover to become the Passover lamb. But the point was, it looked horrible because he's dead on the cross, right? Only for a miracle to then manifest. So, but evil walked right into God's trap. Get it? It was the
Got it.
worst day for evil in history because now Jesus became the second Adam, taking away all sins of the world. It was the worst day for evil in history, and that was actually that's why.
So they know they're doomed now, and their point now is
Yes.
to take all souls with them. Is that what it is? Kind of like a scorching earth, policy?
They only have one agenda. They only have one agenda: is take as many souls with them as possible, right?
Right. So they know they're going to lose. They know they're done.
Yeah, they know they're going to lose.
So this
But
isn't
that's why
about winning for them. This is about taking as many with them as possible.
Yes, and that's why when you listen to that movie, Nefarious, right? He actually called them out. The nefarious guy could not, the evil one, he couldn't even use the word. Kept calling him Jesus the carpenter. They kept saying the carpenter, and he literally said that was like the worst thing, the biggest mistake we ever made was kill the carpenter, right? He actually said it right in Nefarious.
Yeah,
Why?
you're right.
Because by killing the carpenter, they took away the sins of the world. You see what I'm saying? So they fell right into God's plan. God had a plan, and they walked right in.
Wow. And they're going to do it again.
What? No. So let's give you another example. The Red Sea. So 9 plagues. Finally, the angel of death shows up. Firstborn of Egypt's killed. Pharaoh finally lets Israel go. They get to the Red Sea. It took 18 days to get there. They camped for 8 days. On the 25th day, they finally crossed the Red Sea. And this is the best part: how stupid evil is. Pharaoh and his whole army walked into the Red Sea. David, they walked into the trap. And then they got stuck, and God closed the entire Red Sea on the entire army, including and Pharaoh, and destroying them in a single day. David, they walked into the trap. So what's happening right now? You're talking about all the horrible things that people are doing. David, they are walking into God's trap.
I see it. I can see it perfectly.
They are walking, but when this event goes down, it's no man's going to get the glory.
So an event is going to take place.
Oh yeah, and it says very clear in the Bible, which we read in Daniel 2 verse 34. And while you were watching, a stone carved out by no human hand, meaning that the world's going to know that God did this. The world will know that God did this, because we're about to see a miracle happen. We're about to see something impossible manifest on this earth that we cannot explain. That's the point, right? The glory brings miracles, but God operates in the miraculous. We're going to say that's impossible, but yet it happened. So I want to talk about some critical, additional critical important time points, right? So we've got some really important things that just happened. I want to show you this because those that know or watched our prior podcast, what happened was you had on Tucker video, right, footage,
right,
on Purim, April 6th to the exact day.
Wow.
It happened on the exact day. And this is how you know God's involved, because you're going to see him perfectly in the details. Okay, so this is the next slide I just created. I want to show you this. So we had ascension. So before Pentecost, 10 days before Pentecost, Jesus ascends to heaven. And then 10 days later, you have Pentecost. The Holy Spirit comes down on the apostles. In the year 2020, 10 days before Pentecost, again, where are we heading back? Remember, the problem started where, David? In Eden. Right? So yes. Check this out. 10 days before, on specifically Ascension Day, the Edenville Dam breaks in the township of Hope, Michigan.
Huh. Interesting.
10 days later, the George Floyd riots break out. Why? Because the latter rain, it says Haggai 2 verse 9, the latter rain will be greater than the former. So the latter rain was birth. So the Edenville Dam breaking marked the water breaking of childbirth.
Oh, wow.
10 days later, the latter rain was birthed on the earth. Pentecost, 10 days before Pentecost, was May 18th. On that exact day, there's three, Father, Son, Holy, and the Trinity, three whistleblowers sit before Congress describing the
various weaponization of the FBI. Wow, yeah.
On Ascension Day. I am just showing you how amazing all of this is. I'm showing you through the math calculations, specifically, that the math calculations show with a 3.5-year window of time, it will be. It's in the Bible. It will be for a time, times and a half a time. That takes it to the end of June. So something's about to manifest. Something's about to go down. And all I know is there's very little time left into the end of June.
So what do you suggest people do? How do you suggest? So are we going to see the dollar collapse? Are we going to see
all of those? Yeah, that's going to be a part of it, I believe.
They haven't reached a deal on the debt ceiling, so that would make sense.
Well, think about what happened, right? Again, let's go back historically. So all I can do is look back historically, because it states in the Bible, that which has been will be again. So we'll have new characters, new people, right? But the same general time windows, the same general concepts of things that happened then are going to happen now, but in a different way, if that makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you look back historically, right, when the angel of death showed up, The next morning, Israel left Egypt with all the gold. They're like, get out of here. Why? Why get out of here? Because God took away their most prized possession, their firstborn. And they're like, we don't want any more of what your God's going to do to us. Just get out of here. And they got paid for 400 years of bondage. They got to leave with all the gold and silver. It says in the Bible, they plundered Egypt of the gold and silver. They basically getting paid for 400 years of bondage, of labor. So the Mayflower landed 400 years ago into 2020. You add 3.5 years forward, boom, you get this June. So we're about to see the collapse of the fiat money system. But why is that important? Because how do they control the seven mountains? How do they control the media? How do they control the church? How do they control Hollywood? Right. You see, so unless
take that away from them, they cannot do it any longer. That's
no, they can, but no one's going to want it. You see, so
yeah, right. It's monopoly money.
Yes, if the dollar loses its status as the world reserve currency overnight, okay, overnight it'll lose its status as the world reserve currency, then other countries will no longer accept it as payment. So therefore, the bribes and the payoffs that have been used with with money
leads to. So you're saying basically, it puts them in a situation that they're in a rock and a hard place. They have no way to move. They're going to be just.
Well, they use and they use the money to hide secrets. Right. Because they did, to hide the deals done in the dark. So if the money doesn't work to keep the deals done in the dark quiet anymore, it's called, the word hush money, right? Yeah. If the money doesn't create the hush anymore, then guess what comes out? The truths. And what does summer solstice indicate?
Wow, this makes sense to me. This makes sense.
The day of most light. So this is going to happen on God's times and on his seasons. Now, the crazy part too is, what's June? And I know you love this one, right? What's June? Pride month. What comes before the fall?
Ooh, Pride cometh before the fall.
Okay. Come on, another coincidence. How many coincidences do we need that are shouting?
I mean, could it be that like what? Like literal? Could it be that literal? Could it be?
Yes. Because Satan decided years ago to use June as Pride Month, but God designed that from the onset. God knew Satan was going to do that. He's going to pick the month of June. I'm just telling you, all of this is
just crazy.
All of this is playing perfectly into biblical prophecy. This is the point. All of this is playing into biblical prophecy, and then you want, and then that basically ties into the Kim Clement prophecy, right?
You're going to play that?
Let's play it right here. Summer will be the mediator between spring and fall, so that the fall can do its work in America. Okay. So before I do that, I just want to show one quick slide here again, just so you understand the timing of this, because you need to get a grasp of the timing, because we don't know the exact day this is going to strike, but I'm telling you, we're so close to this going down into the end of June. So I just want to give you a brief rundown on the window of time, and then we're going to look. I watched the Kim Clement prophecy. So look at the window of time here. What you're seeing is right here. So you've got January 12th, 2020, 1,260 days takes us to the end of June. 4 days before that is the summer solstice, right? The day of most light. On that day, Trump just happens to be 77 years and 7 days old. On that day, specifically, you've also got, the Pride Month. On that day, the 25th here, you also got, 9 months of childbirth. Like there's just everything's piling up here into the end of June for something crazy. Then you got a 45-day window, and you'll understand when you understand the timeline here. But so that takes us into Summer the Mediator. So we'll have a quote here. So the 45-day window is the Summer the Mediator right there between spring and fall. And then August 9 onwards begins 1,260 days or 3.5 years forward, and then in that time window, we're going to have 45 come back here this fall to rebuild the financial collapse that happened within the world. So the collapse is going to apparently start with, from what I understand, with Germany, a financial collapse starting in Germany that's going to reverberate all around the entire globe, and everything blows up. But basically, somehow it's tied in with the U.S. dollar collapse, and then you're going to have to have the builder come back and rebuild what God got the glory for and what God destroyed. And so then we're going to get back into what's called a gold-backed money system. So Trump's going to 45 reinstates a money system backed by gold and silver. So we return to the gold standard. In the beginning of this interview, you're saying stuff like gold going to 2,200. That's going to be a joke, okay? You're not even close at 2,200. You're going to see gold shoot to 4,000, in a heartbeat when this stuff goes. You're going to see silver shoot to $600 an ounce, okay? And that's just the start, because Matthew talks about blessings 30, 60, 100-fold. Well, if you multiply the price of silver right now only by 30, that's already 600, okay? So we're going to see immense blessing like you can't even imagine financially that are coming. Why? Because Haggai 2 verse 8, the silver and the gold are mine, saith the Lord. When God destroys the financial system, he's going to raise his money. So why do you want gold and silver? Because if you've got money in the banks, they're going to collapse, okay? Because on the other side of the Red Sea, there was no one chasing Israel.
Gosh, this is crazy. I mean, it kind of lines up with everyone I talk to as well. You're just putting dates on this stuff, which, I leave it to my audience to decide that. But I mean, man, it's very believable, Bo. I'm going to tell you this right now.
No, I understand.
Makes sense to me. It makes all the sense in the world.
All I know is, God's not mocked. He's not going to let evil, win. Okay. They think they're winning right now. They think they're winning right now. And that's
they're going all in. It adds up to everything I hear about the panic moves, premature moves they're making. It all adds up.
And also understand, when this event goes down, this will tie into what you're saying too. What's going to happen is it's going to get really scary, okay? So it's going to get to a point like where Jesus died on the cross. Everyone's freaking out. Jesus is dead. He's on the cross dead, okay? You don't think people were freaked out then at the time?
Financial collapse, boom.
Yeah.
Or some kind of false flag or something.
Yeah, whatever. At the Red Sea, Israel's like, they're freaking out. If they see a huge army coming at them, right? Massive armies coming up to kill them all. They got nowhere to go. So understand, if you think it's scary right now, oh, no, you haven't seen scary yet. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And this will be the death of the United States. The United States, we know, is about to die. It will be the death of the United States, like what happened to Lazarus. He was dead. He was put in the tomb. Jesus Christ was dead. He was put in the tomb. But then you will have the resurrection. This is the baptismal moment, the death to life. The United States will be reborn.
Wow.
No different when Jesus Christ rose from the dead. No different when Lazarus, said, Jesus Christ says, Lazarus, rise. And on the fourth day, he rose from the dead. And that's the worldwide celebrations will be at that point. So it's going to get scary as heck. Something insane is going to happen. And then we're going to see darkness and quiet. And we're like, what do we do? You know what you do? You get down on your knees and you pray and you say, thank you, God, for saving America. Because when the lights come back on, worldwide celebrations are about to manifest. So this is how this is going to, honestly, this is how it's going to play out. Here's the video of Kim Clement. Pay close attention, please, people, to his words, because I'm giving you time windows, but Kim Clement's giving you words of events that are about to manifest. So here is the video, and enjoy it.
Today, I will reveal, for you have entered into a time and a season of undercover, where I will bring out from the covers the truth. For there have been too many lies, one lie after the other, covered in high national positions. There are two E's that I see. One E is the word erupt. The other is earthquake, a volcano as a sign. And then there will be another earthquake, says the Lord. Keep your eyes open, for this sign is to cause the earth to yield of its produce. I will release that which has been held back from you and cause triumph to be sounded in your mouths, says the Lord. Summer reaches to spring and to fall. I will be the mediator, says summer. I will uncover, yet beneath the earth there is a rage. Eruptions, summer says, Why choose they me? Why do the tornadoes, the hurricanes choose me? I am summer. I bring smiles. I bring sunshine. I bring warmth. Yet there is a tumultuous rendering that is coming. I stand to protect spring, but fall, you are rebelling. Or is it that possibly the Spirit of God will cause many to fall in fall? Then there is the earth that wishes to tremble. Shake! For the nations of the earth stand waiting. However, there is an uncovering of great evil. And I will start from the top. I have shaken the Democrats and will shake the Republicans even more. But remember, when these tremors and when these tumultuous moments happen, Summer says, I will take it so that the fall can do its work in America. Summer, take it. For thus says the Lord, I will prosper my people. And during the fall there shall be many that shall fall, and many that shall rise from the dust. For the summer shall bring forth much in the temperatures. Strange July, hypnotic November, and oh Christmas, where winter shall say, and me, I will make them happy. For God says, I have chosen each season to manifest something. And it shall come to pass that I shall bring sign after sign. And in the fall, that which comes down is that which was able to be shaken. And I will build and release the resources. And in the fall, will show you whom I have chosen to pray for and guide this nation. You shall rejoice, for it is my man. It is my chosen David, says the Lord.
That goes with everything I'm hearing. I like my hair's standing on end. I love Kim Clemente, man.
Yeah, I just think it's incredible when God revealed to me the cycle pattern of the 3.5 years, how it relates to Daniel 12 verse 7. It will be, and then I literally lined it up with the Kim Clement prophecies. I'm like, oh my goodness, what, this is crazy. And then you do the math calculations for childbirth at 9 months, 1,260 days. 25 days to the Red Sea again takes us the summer solstice. You got Trump's birthday. 77 years, 7 months, and it just. Everything's incredibly powerful how this is all playing out mathematically. And then we got prophetic words that are out there about angel of death who hasn't struck, that hasn't struck yet. We've got many prophets, the ones I referenced, and others have all referenced the great wealth transfer. Okay. And that's Proverbs 13:22. The wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous, the church. Okay. And we haven't seen that manifest, right? So those that think evil is going to grab the humanity and do it.
But this is only going to be for a matter of a few years until it comes back again, correct?
Right. If you study this, again, let's look back in the Bible, right? And if you study the story of Joseph, right? What happened to Joseph? Well, he went from the pits to the palace, but he was in the pits and he became second command of all the world, just only to answer to, the king of the king of Babylon. In a matter of 2 years ish. No one knows the exact amount of time frame, but it was 2 years. Well, how long is 45 been in office? Well, January is 2 years. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
So then when Joseph came to power, what did he do? It was 7 years of plenty, to be followed by 7 years of famine, right? So we've got 7 years of plenty coming our way.
And then after that,
you never imagine. Talk plenty. You want to talk wealth transfer? Okay. You want to, and the money's going to come in such big quantities.
But hold on, that only lasts for a certain amount of time. That's only a matter of
Right.
7 years. Then after that, what happens then?
Well, because why? See, right now they're coming in, they have all the money. So they have all the gold and silver. and they also have all the money, right? And so and you read the Bible, it says the wheat will rise with the tares. So the wheat is the church, the tares are the evil ones, right? At harvest is when the Christ comes in, with the angels, and they separate the wheat and the tares. But prior to to Christ's return, we're not talking Christ's return. This is two events are happening. Christ's return is a secondary event. The first event that's about to happen is glory manifesting, kind of what happened, similar to what happened at the Red Sea. That was the glory of God manifesting, right? When the ground broke open at Noah's Ark, right? That was the glory manifesting on earth. So we're going to see a glory event happen on the earth, not the return of Christ right now. A glory event stops these people and it separates the wheat and the tares, meaning so we're going to do this ourselves because God's going to fulfill the prophetic word of Daniel, of Proverbs 13:22. So we, the church, gets the wealth. And also Deuteronomy, right? We're to be the lenders to the nations, not the debtor. And what all that ultimately is saying is we get back our inheritance. What evil stole in the Garden of Eden. Get it? We get the gold and silver back. Satan stole it, we get it back. So when evil does come to power in the future, they're going to come up with the beast system money, right? Why? Why are they going to come up with that in the future? Because they don't have any gold and silver. This is the best part. Evil comes in limping. They don't have the gold and the silver. The church does. So if the church has got the money, they're separate of the world. They're not a part of the system. So that's why there's nothing to fear in the future, because when you read they, them, their, okay, that's happening to them that choose to be a part of that system. Whereas those that, who love Jesus Christ and don't want to be, want to be in the world, but not of the world, they're separate. They're not living in the cities, and they got everything they possibly need because the amount of money that they're going to have is going to be ridiculous. Anything they need, they'll have, and so we're going to live, on this earth. But ultimately, because again, when the second event comes, and that's the return of Christ, but that's still years in the future. So there's nothing to fear because God got the stage set up. He has the plan set up for us to be in this world with will be a well-funded bride with everything she needs. That's what's coming. And evil is going to have to rise again, and they will rise again, and they will have their appointed time. But the only thing they're going to have is a beast digital money system. They're not going to have any gold and silver.
Well, that's not coming. That's not coming soon. The digital system is not coming.
No, that's because all of their plans get squashed, right? All of their plans get stopped in their tracks when God intervenes here. When the angel of death manifests, when the Red Sea miracle happens, remember, the angel of death then led to 25 days later the Red Sea miracle. The Red Sea miracle on the other side of the Red Sea, there was no one chasing Israel. There was no one chasing Israel. And more importantly, all the nations of the world feared the God of Israel because they heard what the God of Israel did to Pharaoh, the king of the world at the time. So that's why the United States will be the safest place to live in the world during end times, because evil's never coming back. They are not coming back to the United States. They are going to be freaked out what God's about to do to them. Because why? We have a covenant with God, just like Israel, and we are a brother-sister relationship, and they're never going to get Israel, and they're never going to get the United States. And we, the United States, our job is to protect Israel, and that's exactly how this is going to go down. So the United States is going to be an incredible place to live during these end times, and evil's never coming back. So it's going to be an amazing place to live. Great. We live in biblical times, and all we're waiting for, there's the one scripture, right? The kings of the earth. The scripture goes like this: in a single day, we'll finish on this. In a single day, the kings of the earth will weep and wail.
Beautiful. Bo, thank you so much for coming on. I hope my audience enjoyed it. Where can people find you, Bo?
Website is gold2020forecast.com, or you can easily just put my name in, Bo Napolny, on YouTube for recent videos.
Yeah, I love your channel, man. Thank you, Bo, for coming on. Let's do this again. We're going to have to do this again in June.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
let's do this.
There's not a lot of time left, and God only needs one day.
All right, I'll leave this up to my audience to decide. Thanks, Bo, for coming on. I appreciate you.
God bless you, Nino. Be well.